Ready? Om Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharyamadyamam Asmadacharyaparyantam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye. So we had seen up to the 29th shloka in the previous class, which covered up to 273rd nama, Prakashanaha, right? So we'll move on to the 30th shloka. Please repeat once. Ojas tejo dyutidaraha Prakashatma pratapanaha Riddhaspashtaksharo mantraha Chandram Shurbaskaradyutihi. This 30th shloka contains 8 namas of Bhagavan. Namas starting from 275 to 282. 275th nama. It's a big one. Ojas tejo dyutidaraha. Ojas tejo dyutidaraha. This is a composite word, and Shankaracharya says, Ojaha prana balam tejaha Shauryadayaha gunaha dyutihi jnana lakshanam deeptihi taha dharayati iti ojas tejo dyutidaraha. It says Ojaha prana balam. Ojaha means the strength, the prana shakti that is seen in a very healthy person. He is very active and he has all the energy to do even great physical tasks. So that strength that is born of prana, that is called ojas. Ojaha prana balam. Next, tejaha shauryadayaha gunaha. Tejas, Shankara defines it as shauryadayaha gunaha, meaning all the features you see in a person, like his valor, his courage, his confidence, his assertion, all these gunas that you see is called tejas. Dyutihi jnana lakshanam deeptihi. Dyutihi jnana lakshanam. Shankara says Dyuti means the intelligence and the knowledge that a learned person has, a wise person that he has. And how about Bhagavan? Bhagavan has all these 3 qualities. He has Ojas, he has Tejas, and he has Dyutihi. And how much of these does he have? As much as I have, or you have, or he or she has, he's got everything in full measure. It is only the individual who has it in limited proportions, but Bhagavan has all these qualities in full measure. Even if you see any of or all of these qualities in an individual in a great measure, Take the case of Arjuna. Any quality of these that you see, even in people around you. Bhagavan says in the 10th chapter of Gita that all these qualities in whosoever you see, they are all manifestations of my own glory. They are like a small ray of a big sun. That is, see it that way. He says, Balam Balavatam Chaham. He says, Tejas Tejasvinamaham. He says all this in Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, this, even if I have any of these qualities in my own self, how should I see it? I should see it as a vibhuti of Ishvara. It is nothing, it's not my glory that I celebrate and I think great about myself. So this bhavana, that whatever glory that I have belongs to Ishvara, is in fact the manifestation of Ishvara's glory in this upadhi. This will help to keep one's own ego under check, so that we don't think too great about ourselves. That is the 275th nama. Since Bhagavan has all of these, he is Ojas, Tejas, Dyuti, Dharaha. Dharayati iti. Dharaha. 276th nama. Prakashatma. Today all these namas, most of the namas are going to be revolving around this Prakashaha. I think Bhishmacharya has organized the namas so beautifully that, even in the previous classes we saw that a set of namas were very similar, and that's how he describes Bhagavan. Here it's going to be all bright today. I don't know about the weather in US, but it's going to be as bright as it is in Chennai. Prakashatma. Prakashaswarupaha Atma Yasya Saha Prakashatma. He is Prakashatma. Why is he Prakashatma? Prakashaswarupaha Atma. His Swarupa, his nature is Prakasham. Prakasham meaning self-effulgent. Self-effulgent consciousness principle. Swayam Prakashaha. You don't need another light to show that there is a light there. Light is something that shows everything, right? That makes things evident for you. That helps you to see things. In our Veda, Upanishads talk about 5 sources of Prakasham, which do not include the electrical systems today. So maybe you can add them also, because these are natural sources of light, natural sources of great light. And we have this mantra appearing in Mundaka Upanishad, in Kathopanishad, and in Shvetashvatara Upanishad. It is a very famous mantra. Natatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agnihi tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. So here Upanishad takes 5 luminaries, the natural luminaries. What are they? The sun, the moon, the lightning, the stars, and Agni. Suryaha, Chandraha, Taraka. Taraka means stars. Vidyut means lightning, and Agnihi. So these 5 luminaries are taken, and the Upanishad mantra says all these 5, even all these 5, either individually or together, cannot light up Atma, cannot light up Bhagavan, because they are luminaries and they shine only after Bhagavan. They shine only because of Bhagavan. It is because of him that they are what they are. He is the light of all lights. He is the light, He is the energy of the sun. He is the light of the moon. He is the light of the stars. He is the light of the power of lightning. And He is the heat and light of Agni. Of course, here heat is not relevant. It is light that is in the context in this Nama Prakashatma. And according to our Shastram refers our sense organs also as lights. Anything that gives you knowledge is taken to be light. Therefore, in that context, your Chakshurindriyam, the power of seeing, the power of hearing, the power of smelling, tasting, and the sense of touch, through which you get to know and experience this world. All these sense organs are also referred to as light because they are sources of knowledge. If eyes can see, it is because of the self-effulgent consciousness principle that is behind the eyes, because of which the eyes function as the eyes. Chakshuscha chakshuhu, Shrotrascha Shrotram, Manaso Manoyat, Vachoha Vacham, Sao Pranasya Pranaha, Kenopanishad. So, He is the eye of my eye, the ear of my ear, the nose of my nose. Means what? It is because of Bhagavan, who is the consciousness principle. It is only because of Him that all these indriyams are able to give me knowledge, are able to function in their own way, in their own field, and give knowledge. It is all because of this consciousness principle. Therefore, this consciousness principle in Upanishad is referred to as Antarjyotihi, the inside light, literally. Antarjyotihi means. And in our South Indian temples, we have this concept called Garbhagraha. Garbhagraha means, Garbha means what? The womb of a mother, right? In the womb of a mother, there is no light. It's totally dark. There's nobody to fix any lamp or a light there for the, for the child to see and move around. No, it's completely dark. So the Garbhagraha is also dark and there is no light inside. But who is there inside the Garbhagraha? It is Bhagavan who is inside the Garbhagraha. And to see Him, a camphor is lit and it is waved around, right? To see Him. And this mantra is chanted in many temples. This is a very popular Arati mantra. Na tatra suryo bhati. Now tell me something. When He is the light of all lights, is this small camphor going to lit up Him and make Him evident to me, who is the self-effulgent consciousness? What is the job of this camphor here? That is why the mantra says, Kutoyam Agnihi. How can a small camphor light you up and make you evident to me? You are the light of all lights. You are the Antarjyoti which lights up all my sense organs and make them function the way they are. So the light, the light of the camphor is not to reveal or not to light up Bhagavan, but is in fact to light up my buddhi, which is, drowned in ignorance. So that my buddhi has the capacity to recognize Bhagavan, to recognize this Antarjyoti. His Swarupa is Swayam Prakasha Swarupa. There is no need of any light to make Him evident for me. He is self-effulgent. He is the light of everything and He is the truth of everything. And this camphor, there is a tradition of showing the camphor, Hara Hara Namah Parvati Pataye. And what do? Hara Hara Mahadeva. Some people are very particular. They take their eyes inside the specs and they do this, right? So that, it touches the eye and doesn't go to something that is not me. Okay? So what does that action denote? What does it mean? It means this camphor that is revealing Ishvara to me, to light up my buddhi, that is revealing Ishvara to me, is equated to the Upanishad Pramanam, the source of knowledge, the means of knowledge to know Ishvara. And the action of touching the little fire and keeping it on my eyes means I accept, I take Upanishad as a pramanam. I accept it as a pramanam. Just like how I surrender to my eyes to have the knowledge in the field of forms and colors. Much the same way, I surrender to the Upanishad and I accept it as the pramanam because it is the only way to know Ishvara, who is Swayam Prakasha Swarupaha. Therefore, he is Prakashatma. That is the 276th Nama. 277. Pratapanaha. Acharya says, Savitradi Vibhutibihi Vishwam Pratapayati iti Pratapanaha. The one who gives energy to the entire universe. According to science, for life to thrive in this planet, there is a certain amount of temperature that is required. And this temperature governs all the mutable forces in the earth. It helps all these forces function so that these functions facilitate life to be here in this planet. You have forces like gravitational force and electromagnetic force and all other forces. These are strong forces. There are other weak forces which are called mutable forces. And all these forces were originally in unmanifest form, and then these strong forces are said to create some basic particles, and then they all started working, and this earth was manifested. And for all this to happen, there is a certain amount of temperature that is required to be maintained. If the temperature falls a little low, if it's going to fall a little low, then there can be no life in this planet. Even the tilt of the earth, they say the 23.5 degrees tilt of the earth, without that tilt, there are so many researches that tell you what all viparita can happen if earth was not tilted 23.5 degrees. So all these things are there just to maintain the temperature of this earth so that it is able to function the way it is right now. And what contributes to maintain the temperature of this earth? The scientists say it's the stars that help in maintaining the temperature of this earth. Therefore, nothing in this creation is redundant. And though science say this is what maintains the temperature, this is what does this force does this, Shastram says it is Bhagavan who is in the form of all these forces, who is in the form of the heat, the temperature, and all other natural forms of light, that supports, that gives energy for life to be here in this planet. Therefore, he is Pratapanaha. 278th Nama, Riddaha. Riddaha will occur for one more time as the 351st Nama, 351. We will see that later. Here in 278, Shankaracharya says, Dharma Jnana Vairagyadibihi Upetatvat Riddaha. Dharma Jnana Vairagyadibihi Upetatvat Riddaha. Meaning Bhagavan is very, very prosperous and wealthy because he is endowed with Dharma, Jnana and Vairagya, and all in samagram proportion, all in infinite proportion. He is all knowing, he is all knowledge. Therefore, he is called Sarvajnaha and he is called the Almighty, right? Meaning he is all powerful. He is Sarva Shaktiman and he has all the wealth. He is all prosperous. He has all the wealth in full measure. That is Riddaha, 278. 279. Spashtaksharaha. Shankara says, Spashtam Udattam Omkara Lakshanam Aksharam Asyeti Spashtaksharaha. Spashtam Udattam Omkara Lakshanam Aksharam Asyeti. The one who is in the form of the Ekakshara of Omkara. Though Omkara is said to have 3 matras, not 3 aksharas, it has 3 matras, A, U and Ma. It is not pronounced as Aum and all. Okay, there are some systems that teach you to pronounce it that way. These are 3 matras, but it is a single syllable, akshara meaning single syllable, and it is pronounced as Om. Don't write Om in English, okay? Om is written as Om in Sanskritam, or maybe you can write it in Tamil. Don't write it in English as A-U-M. The better version is O-M. 280th Nama, Mantraha. Acharya says, Rig Yajus Sama Lakshanaha Mantraha. Mantra Bodhyadvadva Mantraha. Wow. So, Bhagavan's Nama is Mantra. He is called Mantraha because he is the one who is in the form of Rig, Yajur and Sama mantras. Every mantra that you chant in Upanishad classes, Bhagavan is in the form of that mantra. It is Bhagavan who is being chanted. And he is the one who is revealed or who is known through those mantras. Vedaihi sarvaihi ahameva vedyaha, Bhagavan says. Therefore, mantra bodhyatvadva mantraha. The one who is known through all these mantras of Rig, Yajur and Samaveda. You may include Atharva Veda also, because we have some Upanishads in Atharva Veda. Therefore, Bhagavan is called Mantraha. 281. Chandramshuhu. Chandramshuhu. Samsara tapa tigmamshu tapa tapita chetasam chandramshuriva ahladakatvat chandramshuhu. Bhagavan is in the form of the rays of the moon. Moon is known for its cooling, right? Sun is heat and moon is cool. So, those minds that are scotched in the samsara tapatraya. Tapatraya meaning there are three tapas, there are three heats that trouble a person, torment a person. One is the adhyatmika tapa, the second is adi bhautika tapa, the third is adi daivika tapa. Adi daivika tapa are the ones which are because of the natural forces. Floods, earthquakes, landslides, heavy rains, all these things. Or, red alert, summer temperature, which is very common here in Chennai. So, these are Adi Daivika tapas, which trouble a person. Adi Bhautika tapas, you are blessed with certain people around you who give you maximum trouble. Right? So, that is Adi Bhautika tapa. You have an environment which keeps troubling you, which keeps bothering you, which keeps giving you constant pain. The third kind of pain is there is no problem with the natural forces or even the environment. That is very calm and sweet. But you are so talented and brilliant that you create problems for your own self. This many people do it. They have certain complexes, they have certain patterns of thinking that causes pain for them. Inferiority complex. Now this is something that will kill a person, this inferiority complex. If you have enough punyam, you will be able to recognize that I am having this complex and this is why I am troubled. There is nothing wrong with the world outside. Nobody is thinking small of me. It is me who is thinking small about myself. Nobody has the time to think about you. Everybody is running around. Right? They don't have time, that they forget having their breakfast and they forget their laptop and they come halfway back and then they grab the laptop and go. Right? So people literally don't have the time to think about you and frame you and form opinions about you. But it is my own self that I have this tendency of thinking that, oh okay, I am only this much. So these kind of things trouble a person a lot. And what is the solution for all this? If these three are going to cause a lot of pain to people, is there at all a solution? A way one can be free from all these things? The answer is yes. And the solution is understanding the namas of Bhagavan. Understanding Ishvara, knowledge of Ishvara eliminates the samsara tapatraya. That I am an afflicted person, that I am persecuted by this world, that this world is bad to me. All these are, Shastram says, all these are your own notions and nothing is true. If I need to know how and why, not why, perhaps how, then I have to study Shastram. Studying Shastram gives me knowledge of Ishvara, which is nothing but the knowledge of my real self. And that will free me from all these tapas. Because all these tapas happen because of the misunderstanding of my own self. The misunderstanding that I am this body, mind, sense complex, and the misunderstanding of Bhagavan that he is somewhere different from me. Therefore, Bhagavan is like the rays of the moon that cools the minds of those people that is scorched in this tapatraya. Therefore, he is called Chandramshuhu. 282. Bhaskara Dyutihi. Bhaskara Dyuti Sadharmyat Bhaskara Dyutihi. This is the meaning Shankaracharya is giving. Bhaskaraha. Who is Bhaskaraha? Surya Devata. Surya Devata is one huge ball of light which doesn't have a spot of darkness in it. The light is such a huge ball of light. Okay, so similarly, now don't extend this example and say there are some dark spots that scientists have discovered in the sun, and please, okay, don't extend this example. Here it is meant in the sense that there is no darkness when there is sunlight, right? So when the light has come, there is no place for darkness. Similarly, Bhagavan is compared to the sun that is so bright. Bhaskara Dyuti Sadharmyat. Just like the sun that is all bright, Bhagavan is bright with all knowledges, and there is no ignorance in Bhagavan. Just to convey this idea, he is compared to the sun. Okay? Bhaskara Dyuti Sadharmyat. That completes the 30th shloka. 8 namas in the 30th shloka. We move on to the 31st. Amritam Shudbhavo Bhanuhu Shashabindu Sureshwaraha Aushadham Jagatassetuhu Satya Dharma Parakramaha. This 31st shloka contains 7 namas. 7 namas starting from 283 to 289. 283rd is Amritam Shodbhavaha. Amritam Shoho Chandrasya Udbhavo Yasmat. Amritam Shoho Chandrasya Udbhavo Yasmat Saha Amritam Shodbhavaha. Amritam Shu means the moon. Now in the Puranas, we have the story of Samudra Mantanam. Okay, you know the basic of that story, right? There was a Devasura Yuddha, and everything went inside the Samudra, the Milky Ocean, and then the churning had to happen. For that they had the Mantramala, the mountain, to be the one to churn the ocean, and they used the snake named Vasuki, and one end was with the Devatas, one end was with the Asura, and they started churning, and so many things came out of the ocean. To cut a long story short, okay. So of all those things that came out of the Milky Ocean, one was the Amrita Kalash that came out. And it is also said that the moon also came out of the Samudra Mantanam with the Amshus of the moon. Amshus meaning the rays of the moon that were drenched in the Amrita. And Bhagavan Vishnu, being the initiator of the entire event of Samudra Mantanam, and he also took the Kurma Avatara to be that base to hold the mantra malai, so that the churning happens, right? So he was the initiator and the supporter of the churning of the ocean, and therefore he is called Amritam Shodbhavaha. Also, Bhagavan being the creator of the entire universe, he is also the creator of the moon. Therefore, where Amritam Shuhu means the moon, Amritam Shuhu Udbhavaha, from whom Amritam Shu was created, was born. Therefore, he is called Amritam Shodbhavaha. Bhagavan here is referred to as the creator of the moon, because he is the creator of the universe. There is another story where he is referred to as the protector of the moon. Have you heard of a story like that? You've not heard of that story. It is the most famous, the most ancient, and the first of all the 12 Jyotirlingas, Somnath. So when, there is a legend that Chandra Devata was married to Daksha Prajapati's daughter. Om. Yeah. He was married to Daksha Prajapati Daksha, his daughter. And when he went to marry his daughter, Daksha Prajapati had a condition. He says, it was between Revati and Rohini that the marriage proposal was. And Chandra Devata liked Rohini. Yeah, Chandra Devata liked Rohini a lot. He wanted to marry Rohini. Energy saver is on. Yeah. So, he liked Rohini, but Daksha Prajapati said, no, it comes as a package. So, if you want to marry Rohini, you have to marry Revati as well. And therefore, he married Revati not out of his own will or his interest, but because he had to marry Rohini. So, he married Revati, but he was not very close to her, very attached to her. He was aloof, and he was simply enjoying his life with Rohini. And there is a problem here. Two women, and one is not having attention continuously for years together after marriage, and she did not reveal it to her father, and then her father came to know, who got very angry, and he cursed. He cursed Chandra Devata that he will fade away and go out of existence. That was the anger of Daksha Prajapati, and therefore Chandra Devata was getting faded away and he was slowly going out of existence. That is when, in the crucial time, when he was in the ICU, and all the rishis told him, you pray to Mahadev, and he is the only way you can be protected. Therefore, he prayed to the Lord, and the Lord appeared and he gave him life. So, he was the protector of the moon. And the story also says, Bhagavan says, because you did a mistake. Now, you called me, therefore I came to protect you. But what you did was also not fair. You did not uphold the dharma of a pati. You married her, but you did not attend to her. Therefore, a part of the shapa of the father will be retained. You cannot completely eliminate that also, and that is why you will fade for 15 days and you grow for 15 days. That is why we have the Krishna Paksha and Shukla Paksha. That the story says so. And because Bhagavan gave him life, Chandra Devata built a temple in that sthala. That sthala itself is called Prabhasa Kshetram, the Kshetram of light. And this temple was built originally by Chandra Devata completely in gold. Okay, and Somnath Mandir was originally built by him completely in gold. This was in Krita Yuga. Then the next Yuga was what? Treta Yuga. And do you remember of any great Shiva Bhakt in the Treta Yuga? Excellent. Ravana rebuilt the temple because it was in the previous Yuga. So he refurbished the temple, rebuilt the temple. He built it entirely in silver. And then in the Dwapara Yuga, do you know of any Shiva Bhakt in the Dwapara Yuga? A great Shiva Bhakt, one of the most greatest Shiva Bhakts who existed in the Dwapara Yuga. So you all know the answer, you know the story, and you nodded as though you didn't know the story at all. So Bhagavan Shri Krishna, he built the temple. He was the king of the entire area, right? He was Dwarakapuri king. So he built the Somnath temple using sandalwood. And then in Kali Yuga, after the Bhojarajas came, they all built the Somnath Mandir in stone. Of course, not ordinary stone, but one of the greatest, best stones. And then this temple is said to have been ransacked and invaded brutally of its wealth by the Mughals for 7 times. 7 times. So every time they invaded, they massacred, they ransacked, and they knocked down the building of the temple and robbed off all its wealth, killing all the people around. Not small amount of bloodshed, but so much of bloodshed happened. The temple was rebuilt every time it was destroyed. Every time the wealth was restored by all the kings around, by all the bhaktas around. And finally, the 7th time, it was destroyed by Aurangzeb, and then it was rebuilt, not in the same place, but a little away from that place, in a place called Veraval, which is where also known for Bhagavan Krishna's mandir, where Krishna is said to have completed his avatara, where the hunter hit Krishna's toe and he departed from the Krishna Sharira. So that also happened in Veraval. That temple is also there, and the temple built by Ahilya Bai Holkar is also there. But then later on, during the time of the independence movement, when the independence was about to come, it was Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel who took up the great job of rebuilding Somnath Mandir. Though he was not there for the Prana Pratishtha, it was completed by the Union Minister K.M. Munshi, who was under the first Prime Minister of India. And the first Prime Minister it is a story, okay? I am not talking politics here. So the first Prime Minister did not give him permission for that, but he went against the Prime Minister, and the Prana Pratishtha happened under it was under the the presidents of it was presided by the Honorable First President of India, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. And Dr. Rajendra Prasad's speech on that particular day in 1951 is also a very remarkable one, where he says, this is the strength of success. Every time, it's not how many times you fall. Every time you got up and you stand tall today. So that shows the success of Sanatana Dharma. And this temple is one of the must-see temples for all of you people. Every time I am giving you a list, okay? So just add the list, and maybe you can tick off 1 or 2 temples every time you come to India. Yeah. So Somnath Mandir. I thought of sharing this story in this context. 284th Nama, Bhanuhu. Simple. Bhati iti Bhanuhu. He is the one who shines. Therefore, he is called Bhanu. He is the only one who is Swayam Bhati, who is self-effulgent. All the others are Anubhati. They shine because of him. And we saw that sometime back, we saw in this class, we saw that even the sense organs are referred to as light by the Shastram. As much as the sense organs are considered to be light, the mind that backs the sense organs is also considered to be light. It's also referred to as light. Otherwise, your ears are open, the sound is there outside, I am talking, there is a sound, right? Your ears are open. If your mind is not behind your ears, you will be here, but you will not hear, right? So, Atma alone is Swayam Bhati, and all the other lights, they shine after Bhagavan. Therefore, who is Bhanuhu? The one who is Bhati, Swayam Bhati is Bhanuhu. 285, Shasha Binduhu. Shasha iva Binduhu Lanchanam Lanchanam Asyeti Shasha Binduhu. Chandraha Tadvat Prajaha pushnoti iti shashabinduhu. Now this moon has a lot of craters in it, right? Has a lot of dark spots in it, which are said to be referred to as the rabbit-shaped ones. You have many shapes, and in Shastram it says it looks like a rabbit. Therefore, it is called a shashabindu. Shasha means rabbit. So shashabindu refers to the spots in the moon, the rabbit-shaped spots in the moon. And Bhagavan is not only the source of the moon, he is not only the one from whom the moon is born, but he is also the moon itself, because he is the material cause of this universe. Therefore, he is also the moon itself. Being the moon, he nourishes the entire earth. In agriculture, even today, many agriculturists lay the seeds in the moonlight. On the night of Paurnami, they lay the seeds in the night, because the light of the moon nourishes the plants, gives a lot of nourishment to the plants. Bhagavan, as the moon, Shashabindu, nourishes all the plants. Pushnati iti shashabinduhu. In the 15th chapter, Bhagavan says, Pushnami chaushadi sarvaha somo bhutva rasatmakaha. I am the one who nourishes the entire plant kingdom in the form of the moon. And then 286th nama, Sureshwaraha. Suranam, Devanam, Shobana Dhatrunam, Cha Ishwaraha, Sureshwaraha. Now, we have seen a nama which is very, very similar to this, which was the 85th nama, Sureshaha. The same meaning. Devanam, Suranam, Ishaha. Devanam, Ishaha, Sureshaha. But here it is taken differently. Shankara says, Shobana Dhatrunam. Right? Therefore, Shobanam Ranti Prachyanti iti Suraha. It is not that only the devatas in the Swarga are called Sura, but all those who can give, who give gracefully, are also referred to as Sura, and Bhagavan, who is their master, their Lord. Therefore, he is called Sureshwaraha. When you talk about giving, Taittiriya Upanishad, Shikshavalli says, Shraddaya Deyam, Ashraddaya Deyam, Hriya Deyam, Bhiya Deyam, Samvidha Deyam. Shraddaya Deyam. Give with Shraddha. Ashraddaya Adeyam. Don't give without Shraddha. So much of emphasis is given for Shraddha. Hriya Deyam. Have some shame in you when you give, that you are able to give only so much, no matter how much you give. No matter how much you give. Have a little shame that it is only this much that I am able to give. With that bhavana you have to give. Hriya Deyam. Bhiya Deyam. Have some fear while giving, whether the other person will accept it or not. Because in this culture, normally, the person who receives is small and the person who gives is considered to be big. Right? But in Bharatam, the person who gives is smaller and the person who receives it, no matter who that person is bigger, is greater. Because you have an environment where there is a receiver. Only then you can give. Otherwise, you can never give. If you don't have anybody to take what you are giving, you never have an opportunity to give. Right? It is only the receiver who blesses you with the opportunity of giving. the opportunity of you to earn some punya. Therefore, the receiver is greater. Though the receiving hands are like this and the giving hands are like this, the receiving hands are greater than the giving hands. Therefore, bhiyadeyam, samvidadeyam. When you give, please give with some knowledge. What am I giving? Who is the receiver? Whether this will serve the purpose for the receiver. Just don't keep giving things like that to people without even knowing whether it will serve any purpose for them. Have some knowledge and then give. Now, to give itself, one needs a lot of punya. Where one does not have enough punya, he or she will only have the tendency to grab and not to give. It is only with the blessing of Ishvara that one is blessed to be a graceful giver. There is a lot of effort that is required for one to give, and it is with the grace of Ishvara, the punyam that you gain, that helps you, perpetuate in this sadhana of giving. Therefore, he is the one. He is the master of those who give gracefully. Therefore, Shobhana Ranti Prachayanti iti Suraha Suranamishaha Sureshwaraha. 287. Aushadam. He is the medicine. He is the medicine for what? Simply medicine means what? What medicine? Samsara roga beshajatvat aushadam. He is the medicine for the disease of samsara. In Rudram you have this. Daivyo Bishak. Bishak means he is the doctor. He is the doctor for your samsara bhavaroga, and he is also the medicine for samsara bhavaroga. In the form of the Guru, he is the doctor. In the form of the Jnanam, he is the medicine. Therefore, understanding of the true nature of Bhagavan is the only cure for samsara bhavaroga. Why? How can understanding and knowledge become medicine for my samsara bhavaroga? Because my samsara, my troubles, all the pain that I report is all born of ignorance, self-ignorance. And ignorance being the fundamental problem, the cure can only be knowledge. It cannot be anything else. There can be no other medicine other than Bhagavan in the form of the knowledge itself. Very beautifully, children presented the glory of Gita yesterday. Yaimam paramam guhyam dharmyam samvadamavayoho jnana yajnena tenaham ishtasyamiti me matihi. I was just looking out for this shloka, I got it. So, ahameva ishtaha, hey Arjuna, of all the worships that are done to me, the greatest form of worship is studying Gita. Studying or knowing my real nature is the greatest form of worship, because by studying this, who is being worshipped? By studying Vishnu Sahasranamam, who is worshipped here? Ahameva ishtaha. Ishta means worship. Therefore, it is Bhagavan who is being worshipped in the Jnana Yajna, and Bhagavan himself says that is the greatest form of worship. Therefore, Bhagavan is in the form of the medicine, the Jnana itself, which is the cure for samsara bhavarogaha. 288th Nama, Jagatas Setuhu. He is the bridge or the boundary of the world. And to cross over this bridge, the samsara, and to reach the destination of moksha, it's all figuratively spoken, okay? To reach the destination of moksha for all the jivas, he is the setu, he is the bridge. Jagatas setuhu. And he, as a boundary, he is the boundary in the form of dharma in the minds of every individual, because of which they don't cross their borders of dharma and they don't transgress their borders and they stay in their respective dharma of all jivas, not only human beings, of all jivas. 289th nama, the last nama in this 31st shloka. Satya Dharma Parakramaha. Satya Dharma Parakramaha. Dharma meaning various gunas of Ishvara, and Parakrama is the courage. And one has the courage as long as nothing challenges him. Once something challenges, you will see that individual getting scared and getting having this anxiety attacks about the future and what will happen. And therefore, dharma and all other things are followed as long as it is convenient for an individual. Otherwise, conforming to dharma becomes very challenging and becomes very difficult, where one's own comfort is under question, right? That's what happens. This is why jiva can never be Satya Dharma Parakrama. It is only Ishvara who can be. Or all those jivas who strive to be, right? So you take Rama as an example and you strive to be one like him. And Bhagavan's dharma and parakrama is Satya, meaning it never fails. Though as an individual I stick on to my dharma and I don't give up my dharma even at the end of my life. Even then there could be a situation where there can be a failure that happens, even a small fear in my mind that maybe I should not have chosen this. There is a possibility. But in the case of Bhagavan, his dharma and parakrama never fails. It is Satyaha. Therefore, the more I bring Ishvara in my life, the more and more I recognize Ishvara, the more I am associated with the unfailing Shakti and the unfailing courage. He is always with me. And he is always with you, always with me, being, this is how you also take it. He is always with you. So that completes the 31st shloka. We will see the rest of them in the upcoming classes. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. The function went on very well yesterday. Thank you all for all your support. And the children really rocked the show yesterday. I hope you all had an opportunity to see the function, which was streamed on YouTube yesterday live, and it's also available in YouTube for you to see later on also. So we will meet next week, same time. Hari Om.